presence of the Lord is here with us today. For you said when 2 or 3 were gathered together in your name, and what you be in the midst of us. God, we know that you're in the midst of us right now. We know that all things work together for our good. God, can we see the good in the bad? No, we can't. Can we see the good in the pain and the sorrow? No, we can't. But the word of God cannot lie. You said that you're not like us, that you shall lie, nor are you like the Son of Man, that whatever you say you got to repent of. Have you said it, shall you not make good? Have you spoken, shall you not break the past? God, you're not like us. We were created to be like you. You were not created to be like us. God, the heavens are higher than the earth, and your ways are higher than our ways, and your thoughts are higher than our thoughts. God, we know that it's working together for our good right now. We know that it's developing us. We know it's maturing us. We know it's bringing out the character of Christ. God, we thank you for it. We thank you, God, for that we are able to go through for Jesus. We're able to endure the suffering for the name of Christ, departing from the evil ways of this life, God. We thank you. We thank you, God, that your presence and power is here with us today. We thank you for the anointing that destroys the yoke. We thank you that we're saved and we're going into a better place. God, even those that are lost, God, we pray for them. We pray that you save them, deliver them, bring them out of the darkness, deliver them out of the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of your dear Son like you did us. Father, in the name of Jesus, have your way tonight. Speak to my heart, speak to our hearts and minds by Christ Jesus. God, we thank you that we made it to this place safe and sound. We thank you that we didn't cause an accident, be involved in an accident, not that our vehicles break down, but God, we made it to this place. We made it to your house. We made it to give you the glory, to give you praise, to give you honor. We made it to lay our burdens at your feet. We made it to cast our cares on you. We made it to give all our troubles to you. We made it to give you the glory. We made it to give you the honor, God. In the name of Jesus. Have your way, Father. Have your way, Father. We thank you. We thank you for who you are. We thank you for what you're doing. We thank you for what you've already done. And if you did it then, you'll do it now. You still God. In Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. If you did it once, he'll do it twice. You know, nothing can stop God from being God. You do know that, right? I mean, you just think about it for a minute before we go into our message today. So if you will, just go ahead and go to Colossians chapter 3 for me. But before we go into our message today, I want you to think about this. Just Colossians chapter 3, and we're going to start reading verse 1. Just think about it for a minute. Nothing can stop God from being God. And here's why. Here's why nothing can stop God from being God. Just think about this for a second. If God created everything, Colossians chapter 3, verse 1. God created everything, right? We all agree to that.
Amen.
We all agree that God created everything.
Yes.
Everything now. So there ain't nothing that just somehow fell through the cracks, did it? Y'all with me? Yeah. I mean, ain't nothing that just somehow fell to the crack or God didn't see it or somehow it just evolved. Like evolution believes. Somehow it evolved. That something got away that God didn't create. Just think about that for a few minutes. Something got away, Sister Jackson, that God didn't create. Something just happened to slip past his fingers or slip past his sovereignty or slip past his all-seeing and his all-knowing. Somewhere, something did not get created by God.
Come on.
Y'all believe that?
Come on now.
Somewhere, something did not get created by God. Y'all listening to me? It's going to have to be real good. Listen. When you come, I need you to take your mind and just go ahead and throw it up there so I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to bring it up there for you. If you just go ahead and put it up there, we can go on and right on into the heavens and right on into the kingdom and sit down at the table and just eat till we get full.
Come on.
So somewhere, I'm trying to show you something. Then we're going to go to the scripture. Somewhere, something escaped God's creation. Y'all treat him like he escaped the creation of God. You know who he is? The devil. You treat the devil like he was not created by God. That he escaped the creation of God. Now wait a minute. My Bible teaches me that he was created by God.
Amen.
By your father, your daddy, your savior, your king, your redeemer, your healer, your joy, your peace. So why do we, when we leave church, treat Satan like he's not created? Anybody with me?
Come on.
We treat him like he's not created. We treat his actions like they're not created. We treat the things he do to us like they're not created. Y'all with me? If you can get this, just this part right here, forget what we're going to teach. If you get this part, you'll go away and whoop the devil. You'll go away and you'll have victory over your life. If you just get this part God's trying to give you. He was created. He is not equal with God. Never will be equal with God. Doesn't have the same power as God. Don't have the same authority of God. He may be agitating your flesh. He may be touching things you love. But he ain't God.
Amen.
Anybody with me?
Amen.
I'm going to just stay right here for a few minutes. He ain't God. He ain't created like God. He didn't create God. God created him.
Come on,
Amen.
Go ahead.
So if God created him, he has no equal. Oh my God. He is not equal with God. Stop putting him and God in the same basket. Because he ain't in the basket with God. But I know who is in the basket with God. Me and you are in the basket with God. Anybody listening to me? Me and you are in the basket with God. We are in God. Not Satan. Me and you are. And not only that, Sister Reed, but God is in us.
Yes.
So wait a minute. The God that created, the one that we compare him to, the one that keeps bothering us, the one that said we can't have it, and even though you live in his system don't live in you.
Amen.
Come on. Come on.
Amen.
He can tell the people to buffet you, but you can tell God to stop them.
Come on now. Come on.
I need you to get this. I need you to get this. I might not even move. I may be just stuck right here. He can tell the people to buffet you, but you can tell God to stop them.
Amen.
I'm going to say that again. He can tell the people to talk about you, but you can tell God to shut them up.
Glory.
He can tell the people to cut your pay, but you can tell God to increase it.
Come on.
Oh my God, anybody listening to me? Fuck for the Holy Ghost. We might not even get past this part. He can tell the people to talk about you, but you can tell God to shut them. Anybody listening to me? He can influence them, and they'll tear you down, but you can talk to God and shut him down. Because it ain't the people, it's him. See, you fight with the people, not with him.
Yes.
Glory.
So in order to fight with him, you got to go back to God. Because you ain't authorized to fight with him. Oh my goodness. Let me woo.
Break it down.
You're not authorized. He is a shepherd. That means he holds a position in the spiritual realm. You're not authorized to go by yourself. Notice I said by yourself. But God created the spiritual realm. So God can take you anywhere. God can walk with you anywhere. That's why David said, "Lo, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I don't fear what's going to happen because you come me there." Oh my goodness. Let me calm down.
Amen.
Woo! I want somebody to get this. I want you to stop letting him run over your house, run over your husband, run over your children, run over your money, run over your life, and say, "Look at him. Here's where it stops. Because I know who's inside of me. It ain't in you."
Right. Jesus.
Amen.
Let me calm down. So we compare him to God. And he has no equal. He don't even compare to God. So get that. Wrap your mind around that for a few minutes. Just let this. Woo, let me calm down.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I feel so good. I'm going to do myself.
Go ahead, praise.
Hallelujah. We compare him to God. And he's not in the equal. He's created. Matter of fact, Mother, he was created just like me and you. But here's what he missed. Here's what he don't have, Samaria. You want to say your name right?
Yes.
Samaria. Here's what he don't have, Sister Kathy. He was created just like me and you, but he missing something. He got power. But Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28 and verse 18, all power in heaven in earth and under the earth has been given to me. No, wait a minute. Where is Jesus? We know physically he's sitting at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us. Spiritually, where is he though?
In us.
Woo! Wait. Where he at? He ain't you. You sure about that? Then why you let his foe take what you can't have? Wait a minute. Really, if you think about it, he ain't talking to you. He's talking to Jesus in you. But Jesus can't work because you won't yield your members to him. But when you yield your members to him, he works. Anybody listening to me?
Yes. Come on.
Are you listening to me? Yeah. Are you listening to me? Woo! I don't even know where I want to go right. It just feels so good. Are you listening to me? So wait a minute. So Jesus said, just read it. And then we're going to go back. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to follow the Spirit.
Come on.
Woo.
Come on.
Hallelujah. We're changing right now. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 28. Make sure I didn't write it down. Yeah, that's it. It's in there. Matthew 28 verse 18. Somebody read it for me. When everybody get that, say amen, then let somebody read it. Matthew chapter 28 verse 18. When you treat Satan like God, you don't see him defeated. When you treat him like God, you don't see him defeated. Because you compare him to God.
Right.
So really, he defeats you with you. But you can. Notice when God talks about Lucifer, even in Isaiah chapter 14 and Ezekiel, you notice when he talks about Lucifer, he never says Lucifer was made in his image. Did he? If you read Isaiah chapter 14, we don't want you to read that. Read it right in your notes so you can understand who you're fighting this. He never proclaimed that Lucifer was created in his image or his likeness. But who did he say it?
Man.
Who did he say?
Let us make man.
Who did he say?
Let us make man.
Did he say, let us make the devil?
Man.
Now wait a minute. Who did he say?
Man.
Wait.
In our image, our likeness.
In our image. Image means the characteristics, the attributes, the character, the creativity, and the ability of God.
Yes.
That's what you got in you. Now wait a minute. You had that in you just from creation. And then Adam sold it to the devil, like Esau did his birthright to Jacob.
Wow.
Adam sold what God gave you to the devil. That's why Jesus said he bought you back. Y'all with me? Oh my goodness. Somebody read Matthew chapter 18. Matthew 28 and 18. Now with me? Matthew 28 and 18. And Jesus came. And spake unto them. Saying. All power.
Is given unto me.
All power. Power means authority. You know, when you deal with laws, it gives you the authority to exercise power. Do you hear that? If I'm driving an 18-wheeler, it weighs about a couple of tons, about 4,000 pounds, if it's loaded. A couple of tons. 2,000 pounds is a ton, so 4,000 is 2 tons, so a couple of tons if it's loaded, right? But I got a 250-pound man standing in the middle of the road with a flashlight. I got power, but he got authority. He got his lights flashing, which represents his authority. Y'all listening to me? I don't know why. I'm going to stay right here. This is where God wants me at. I'm going to stay right here. Because y'all keep running from the devil when you got more authority than he do. You keep letting him tell you how your life's supposed to go and how your children are supposed to act. And I don't need y'all to do that while I'm preaching. Okay. The authority is in what? Now we talk about the policeman because you know if you're standing in the middle of the road with a flashlight and you got his light flashing, when the 18-wheeler roll up, he's 250 pounds, it's 4 tons, it's 2 tons, 4,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. Now, who has the most power, the truck or the man?
The truck has more power.
The truck has more power. Okay, well, who has the most authority?
Standing with the flashlight.
No, wait a minute. What is his authority?
The bag.
Oh, wait. I ain't talking about his power now. Because this is power. I'm talking about his authority. His authority is right here.
Right.
So you don't care nothing about the man. You didn't get that, did you? You don't care nothing about the man. You respect his authority. Because his authority says, if you don't stop, I'll shoot you. Not his power. See, his power is that 9mm Glock he got on his hip. That's his power. But his authority gives him the power to use his. See, what Jesus said, that I have been given all power in heaven and who was reading? Before I get too far here. Read this, Astrid.
All power is given unto me.
Is given unto
me.
In heaven?
In heaven.
In where?
In earth.
Wait a minute. Notice it didn't say under the earth. Because Satan isn't under the earth. Satan is roaming in the earth. You know, say that about under the earth. The Bible calls him the prince of the power of the air. Matter of fact, he came in here with you. Because air came in here. You ain't got to believe it, just read the Bible. He came in when you came in. That's why he's going to sit right beside you and play on your mind so you don't hear nothing the pastor's saying. He's going to remind you of all you've been through all morning and all day up to this point. And he's going to keep bothering you with that. But wait a minute now. If the air came in and he's the prince of the power of it, that means he came in too. Right. That's why people are sitting in church, hear the preacher preach and never get nothing. But it was good. You know what that tells me? Your mind was somewhere else. Satan took your mind outside the building, but your body stayed. Y'all with me? Come on. This is good. Ooh. He says in heaven and in earth, all authority. That means when the police put his lights on, what's the first thing coming to your heart? Fear. You get scared, don't you? Somebody talking to me. You get scared, don't you? Oh my God, what he want? What he pulling me over for? What did I do? And then you start looking around, but you ain't respecting his lights or his power because he don't pull his power. The first thing he walk up to is show you that badge. You look up, then you look to the side. His authority is represented in a small place. Listen to me. Satan don't care about how many times you speak in tongues. He don't care about how many times you go to church. He don't even care about how much scriptures you know. What he respects is your authority.
Yes.
Y'all get this right here.
Amen.
Listen, he don't have to respect authority that you don't respect.
Amen.
Oh, Jesus.
I like the pure took off running. Isn't it amazing how we want Satan to respect the authority of the word and we don't?
Amen.
Isn't it amazing how we want to use the authority of the word to tell Satan to get behind us, but we don't submit to it?
Amen.
Isn't it amazing how we read scripture about how we can cast out devils, lay hands on the sick, and they're supposed to get up, but we don't submit to the authority that gives us authority to cast out that devil?
Amen.
See, the sons of Sceva, they had the word, but they weren't authorized. So when they went to spirit pick, hey, y'all got to get this right here. This is all out the Holy Ghost. This ain't even stuff I wrote down when I wanted to teach it. It ain't even coming out. So I ain't going to force it to come out. I'm going to let it come out what's coming out. Isn't it amazing how the sons of Sceva watched Paul endure demons by the authorities? He was authorized. He didn't just have the word. He obeyed it and it authorized him.
Amen. Amen.
Good. God Almighty.
Preach
Lord, see, we got the word, but it ain't authorized us yet.
Amen.
See, my daughter has the ability to drive, but if she's underage, the state will not authorize her to drive.
Come on,
You didn't get that, did you?
come on.
She has the ability, but her age says you're not authorized. Your mind may advance, but your body ain't caught up yet.
Amen.
Y'all with me? So when she reached the age limit where the law authorized her to get a certificate, then a license, a little paper about plastic about this big, you put it in your wallet. It authorizes. Now you can drive without authorization, but there's a penalty.
That's right.
Because if you get stopped without license, that's a $250 fine. In some states, if you have no ID, that's a trip to the jailhouse. So what God saying to us, I'm going to obey the Holy Ghost. What God saying to us? He said you have the ability, but you're not authorized. Don't you know you ain't got to wait for the pastor to lay hands on you? All you got to do is repent of your out of order and get back in order, and you can lay hands on yourself.
Yes.
Because listen, the authorization just ain't for me to lay hands on you. The authorization is for me to lay hands on me. Anybody listen to me? So when my life get out of order, I can't wait till we get to church to get it back in order. I might die before we get there.
That's right.
Anybody listening to me? I might lose my mind on the way to church and run off in a ditch and kill myself. But when I'm in line with the word and the word, thank you, Holy Ghost. Let's move real quick. Listen, Lord, you know what you're doing. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you. Hallelujah. John, chapter 15, verse 6 through 7. Y'all turn it? John 15.
And what?
15, verse 6.
15 and 6. Amen.
Let me ask you this question before we read that. When you was just going to church, you had no desire. There's two things I need you to get. I'm going to address one, then I'm going to address number two. I'm going to address the number two first because it deals with your adherence to the word of God and refusal to obey it. So that's why you got all the hell in your life. Say it again. Number two is you have the word, but you won't obey it. So since you have it, God, through calamities, is trying to influence you to obey it. But since you won't obey it, he lets the calamity take over. And then you have the word and obey it, and Satan, through influence of calamities, wants you to stop obeying it. Notice when you start obeying it, how the enemy gets mad.
Come on.
Somebody talking?
Yes. Amen.
But as long as you live that jacked up life, doing whatever you thought you was big and bad enough to do, if you got calamity, it's because God is trying to save you because somebody praying for you. You cannot run the prayers of the saints. You might as well give up.
Amen.
I'm going to say that again. You cannot run the prayers of the saints. You might go. Anybody here? You cannot run the prayers of the saints. You might as well give up.
Come on now. Come on.
I know I used to try. I could not run my mama's prayers. I couldn't run fast enough, Mother Jackson. And guess what, Brother Scholar? Look at me today because I could not run the prayers. Listen, once somebody starts praying for you, God starts working on you. And they long as they still praying for you, God will keep working on you. He ain't gonna take his hands off you until their prayers come to pass. Here's what God honors. He ain't really honoring your faith because you don't want to serve him. He's honoring the faith of the person that's serving him. So that person that's obeying God's word is authorized.
Yes.
I need y'all to get this. You can understand. Oh, I have to calm down. I really want to just preach like I'm in a revival, but I gotta calm down. You don't understand what you got. See, first of all, you're just not an ordinary person going to a building. If you have been touched by God, have you been touched by God? Hello, somebody. Yeah. You can walk now. You can be touched by God, but you can't walk away from the touch.
That's right.
Because if you try to walk away from the touch, God gonna make sure your life be miserable. Ain't no way God gonna touch you and let you walk away.
Come on, preach. All right now. Be in trouble.
Good God Almighty.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
I don't know. I keep hearing this word. You need to be authorized. It ain't gonna work till you're authorized. You got scriptures, but you're not obeying them, so they're not authorized. Listen. If I take my debit card out and give it to my daughter, if she uses it without my authorization, we'll have to punish her. But if she calls me and say, I want to buy so-and-so, I give her authorization, she can use it. But I can't get upset because I gave her the authorization.
Come on.
Satan influences you so you can give him authorization. He can't do nothing to you until you give it to him.
Wow.
Did you hear that? I heard that. Did you hear it? See, he is really on the outside waiting for your authorization to get on the inside.
Yes.
Good God Almighty. Boy, the fear took off. Why? Because he wasn't created in God's image. You was. I was. We were. So in order for him to get on the inside of what I'm doing, I got to authorize his entrance. So guess what he do? He works on your mind to get control of your emotions so he can rule your thoughts and you give him entrance. Yes. And once he get his entrance inside of you, he works happy. Anybody listening to me?
Yes.
I'm going to show you in the Bible.
Come on now.
See? Let's read. It's so much I really want to just, woo. John 15:6. John 15:6.
If a man abide not in me,
Read verse 5.
I am the vine,
And ye are?
ye are the branches. He that abideth in me,
He that abideth in me.
and I in him,
And I in him.
the same bringeth forth much fruit.
The same bringeth forth more fruit. For what?
For without me,
You can
ye
what?
can do nothing.
For without me ye can.
Do nothing.
So you trying to fight a war with a superior being in the spiritual realm that you're not authorized to fight. But here's what you got to understand about him. He is authorized to fight you.
Yes.
You just not authorized to fight him.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my.
God Almighty. Did you hear that? See, he don't need God's permission to fight you, because if you go to the book of Revelation, it says, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth. Are we not the inhabitants of the earth?
Yes.
Notice Satan ain't fighting the cows. Notice he ain't fighting the dogs. Notice he ain't fighting the zebras, lions, or tigers. And even though they eat one another, he's not fighting them. Because ain't none of them made in God's image. He's mad with God for kicking him out of heaven. God made you in his image to torment him. But on the other hand, you let him torment you. Help me out with that. Jesus says, for this cause was I manifested, that I might. The word might don't mean I ain't got the power to do it. The word might means whoever let me in them, fight the devil, I'll fight him.
Amen.
That I might destroy the works of the devil. Wait a minute now. Jesus came in you. Did you not feel it coming, you, Brother Jackson?
Yes, I did.
Woo! Good God Almighty. And when Jesus came in you, Satan says, I can't have that. Because this, my realm, my world, and he belongs to me. And you just can't come inside of him and take over him without my permission. But Jesus don't need Satan's permission to save you. He needs yours. Woo! Whoa. Do you get this? See, Jesus don't need Satan's permission to fix your marriage. He needs yours. He don't need Satan's permission to fix your relationships. He needs yours. He don't need Satan's permission to heal your body. He needs yours. That's why he said, all authority has been given. Has been. That means, you know what the word has been? That means it had belonged to somebody else before it was given to me. God gave it to Adam. Adam gave it to the devil. And Jesus took it back.
Yes, he did.
Good God Almighty.
Glory, hallelujah.
Anybody listen to me? Woo! I like the period tuck off running. Can you see that? I tell you, I want to preach like I'm in the revival, but I want to teach and preach it because I want you to get it. I don't want to get way up there because if I get way up, I might not come back.
Come on, Pastor. Go ahead.
Listen to this. God gave dominion to Adam. Adam sold it to the devil. His birthright, Esau did to Jacob. He sold him his birthright. That's why God let Isaac bless Jacob, even though he was wrong. God was looking at the wrong. He was looking at what Esau did before the wrong took place. Esau sold his birthright because his belly was hungry. Read your Bible.
He gave it away.
He sold it. Adam sold his birthrights to the devil when he ate the fruit. But Jesus came back and he took it. He took it because in the wrong nature, he lived the right life. He didn't have the soul of a man, but he still had the nature because he was tempted, just like me and you. But the Bible says he never sinned. So he bought back what Adam sold. He said, have been given. That means somebody else had it before I got it. Ooh. And this was going to blow your mind. He said, now that I got it, I'm not like the devil. I don't put you in chains to get you to serve me. I influence you to serve me out of love. Right. That's why I heal your body. That's why I save your relationships. Glory. I'm influencing you to serve me out of love. I can put you in chains to make you serve me, but that ain't love. Because you serve somebody out of love, willingly.
Yes.
That's true.
Anybody with me? See, I serve Kimberly Coates willingly because I love her. If I did it out of obligation, I'd be tormented. I couldn't last 29 years. That's right. Because my will ain't strong enough for 29 years.
Come on, preach, Pastor.
But love is. Good God, I need you to get this.
Yes.
See, you lusting, but you ain't loving, and you mad because it ain't working. But if you get in love, which is God, and God get in you, which is love, your marriage will last because you outside and he inside. Oh, that means you die, he lives. Hey. Good God Almighty.
Yes, yes.
That's the whole revelation. I'm glad you're recording that. That's the whole revelation right there.
Oh my God.
So it's easy for me to put lotion on Kim's feet.
Yes.
Because I love her. Mm-hmm. It's easy to get out of bed and go find her stuff when she don't feel like getting out of bed. Because I love her. It's easy for me to call her and say, iron so and so and so and so for me. And she don't give me no lip because she loved me. But before we got saved, we was out of love. Even though we thought we was in love, we was always fighting. But how you fight in love? Love don't fight. Hello, somebody. Let's take them big ego. I ain't nobody got time to play with it. I'm telling the truth. But when we got in love, which is God, and God got in us, whatever she say, I said, what you want? How long? I'll be there in a minute. Wait a minute. Guess what I do? I die because my natural man be tired. But because I love her, yes. My love turns to joy. Y'all ain't getting this. Okay. This is going to help you real good. This is going to help you real good. When my love turns into joy, it gives me strength. Because the Bible says the joy of the Lord is our strength. Anybody read about other than the pastor? So listen, first of all, you don't have joy when they first ask you to do it. You have you.
Come on, break it down.
And you say, I don't know if I want to do that. You just talk to me like I was a child. But then love says, go do it. And on the way, you still got you. And by the time you get to where you're supposed to be, you fell off and joy came in. And now joy giving you strength you know you didn't have. Hello, somebody.
Preach it, Pastor.
Go ahead.
Marriage seminar. All right.
Woo-hoo.
That is powerful.
This happened to me.
That's true.
Every time I preach, I would lay back on the floor by that prayer. I said, Lord, if you don't preach to nobody tonight, preach to Joshua Coast.
Come on.
I said, I want you to preach to me. If ain't nobody else gonna listen, I'm gonna listen. If nobody else don't want it, I want it. Preach to me.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, Father.
Oh my God, we didn't got to the good part yet. We didn't got to the good part yet. Oh my goodness. He said, if a man abide not in me. Notice he didn't say nothing about church. If you read John chapter 1 verse 14, it says, Jesus was the Word made flesh. Now wait a minute. He said, if any man abide not in me. I'm about to say this a little bit slower. If any man abide not in me.
Don't stay in me. Come on now. All
I'm going
right.
to say that one more time.
All right.
I felt some of y'all come up. And some of y'all still sitting on the pew. I'm going to say it one more time. If any man abide not in me. He doesn't say the name of your organization, the name of your pastor, the name of your doctor, the name of your teacher, your preacher, your deacon, your bishop. He said, if any man abide not in me. Now, we all know that we can't go to heaven and sit in Jesus. But we don't have to because Jesus came to earth to sit in us.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to say that again.
Amen.
We all know that we can't go to heaven to sit in Jesus.
Come on now.
We don't have to because Jesus came to earth to sit in you.
Oh!
No, wait a minute.
Come on.
He got some keys. Every lock has a different key. You can stick a key to the door that goes to another door in a door that it don't belong to. It'll go in there, but it won't. See, because you won't let Jesus rule you, you go pick scriptures out of the Bible, stick it into a lock you're not authorized to unlock. And then you wonder why that door ain't opening.
Amen.
Because if you read your Bible correctly, it says the Holy Ghost will lead you to the truth.
Yes.
And come on now.
Ain't that what the Bible says?
That's the word.
It says when he,
The spiritual.
that means shown. He represents a man, don't he? They call your mother-in-law she, because she's woman. They call you he, because you're man. So wait, the Bible says when he's a man. When he shows up, he takes Sean, who thinks he's a man, by the hand and teaches him how to be a man.
That's all right now. That's all right, man.
Because he got to lead you into all truth. So what he's telling you is the culture that you grew up in didn't teach you the truth. It showed you how to exist, but that wasn't the truth.
Amen. Amen.
Because only truth comes from God. There ain't no man on earth can give you truth if God didn't give it to him.
Amen.
That's why Romans says, let every man be a lie and God be true. Not even say God be true, let God be truth.
Truth.
Are you with me? Jesus said, if a man abideth not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and man gathered them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. Verse 7 says, if you abide in me,
And my word.
somebody read the rest of that.
And my word.
If you abide in me, wait. I gotta break this down so you can get it. When you came up and got saved, when you felt the Holy Ghost prompting you, you felt it pulling on you, you felt it tugging you while you was back there.
Yeah.
It was convicting you of your wrongdoing.
Yes, sir.
And it was convicting you not in a bad way, but a conviction that made you feel like, I'm really tired of this. And I don't want this no more. But then you have that one that owns the air sitting beside you, showing what all you got to give up.
Come on.
And then he started telling you, you got to give up that person. You can't go to that place no more. You're going to be able to go down there no more. But you felt the conviction of the Holy Ghost saying, come. You felt the power of God pulling you. But then you have him who owns the air sitting beside you in church now. Now you think that was your mind talking to you. No, that was him influencing the thoughts in your mind, showing you what all you had to give up. Listen, everything he was showing you, he owned.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my. You stay with him, man. That's all right.
You know, I'll give it to you. I can give it to you the way the Holy Ghost gave it to me. It's kind of like an abusive husband who don't let his wife work. But she's tired of being abused by him. So when she gets to the point to leave him, the first thing he throws up in her face is, how you going to make it without me?
That's right.
I'm going to pay all your bills. I'm going to make your car payment.
Amen.
I'm going to make sure you have clothes. See, that's what Satan does. When you start to walk away from his system, he shows you all the things that you got to let go. So how you going to make it without that? How you going to make it without Johnny? You know, Johnny, he might have a wife, but Johnny was bringing them hundreds to you, though. Now, how you going to make it without them hundreds? Let's just keep saying right there for a few minutes. You know, Sally, she ain't no good, but at least she did give you half of what she had. Now, how you going to make it? Y'all just say it right there. How you going to make it without her? You know, these are the things he showed you when the Holy Ghost is bringing you. Now, listen to this. When he said, he that abideth in me, when the Holy Ghost gets you up front, and it's my hand that he owns. This ain't my hand. I don't own it. That's why I can't hit my wife with it no more. Hello, somebody. We'll say that again. Oh, I felt that. See, it ain't my hand. I don't own it. That's why I can't hit my wife with it no more, because it ain't my hand. Now, don't mind. Let me help you out now. Let me help you out. That don't mean he ain't influencing what ain't there. He know it ain't there. But see, if I give him authorization, he'll take over my hand again. He know it ain't. Y'all got to get this. He know it ain't there, but he influencing an empty spot, hoping you will authorize him to bring it back in.
Amen.
Jesus.
There's so many scriptures coming up. I'm about to quote them to you. James says, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And then another scripture says, whom you resist steadfast in the faith. Now, where's the faith, John? Romans chapter 10, verse 17 says, faith cometh by hearing. Wait. Faith cometh by hearing. No. Faith cometh by hearing. Hearing what?
By the word of God.
Wait. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. Now, why would he put hearing twice? Because you can hear, but don't obey. It don't become faith. When he said hearing twice, that means you heard it, you obeyed it, it became faith.
That's right. Amen.
The Bible says that God accounted Abraham righteous because he obeyed him. Wait a minute. He didn't say obey. The scripture said believe. Now wait a minute. Abraham did more than believe because he left.
Amen.
Yes, it did.
And the Bible says if you have faith as faith for Abraham, you are considered his seed. Now wait a minute. What did Abraham have? When he first started walking with God, he didn't have faith. What was his first reaction? Obedience. His obedience was converted into faith. That's why in Hebrews chapter 11, he's in there, along with all the other people that obeyed God, and their obedience became faith. Faith is God manifesting himself through your obedience to you. Without obedience, you can't say you have faith, because you can't believe in something you don't obey. You believe that's your husband, and can't nobody convince you of that. That's why you obey it. If you don't believe that's your husband, you won't obey it.
That's powerful.
I believe that's my wife.
Amen.
I don't care how many of them come up to me. I believe it. So when she ain't around, I obey her. Y'all ain't getting that, did you? Because guess what? Guess what? When I ain't around, she obey me. Let me calm down. So no matter what he presents to me, I obey her. You can't obey something you don't believe, and you can't believe something you don't obey. Once you come up here and you accept Christ, he put a measure of himself inside of you. He in you now. Notice he says, if you stay in me. Now, when you go back to work, he's going to start instructing you about conversations you used to have, you can't have no more. That's staying in him. But when you read the word and you obey it, his word stay in you. And the more you read and obey, the more it stays in you. But what you don't understand is actually authorizing you for war.
Amen. Yes.
Listen to this. Satan had roamed the earth, and this is what they say. You've probably been here so long, I can't figure out how they figure this stuff out, but it don't make sense to me, because how can you punch in a couple of numbers in the computer and it'll tell you how long something been here? Unless you were here when it was first created, you don't even know. So they say Satan been here, Brother Shug, for 6,000 years. Are you 6,000 years old? How old are you? You're 36. You don't even scratch it. So it means he is 5,974? Yeah. So he's 5,974 years older than you. Wait a minute, he done seen a lot of stuff just in the 974 years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Now just exclude the 5,000. Now how many people done messed up in just 974 years? And then you just came to the church and you think you know something about him? The pastor said, I can rebuke the devil and he'll leave me alone. Get thee behind me, Satan. And the devil says, talking to me. And this is what he did. He said, well, I heard that and it sounds good. But I'm gonna do an x-ray check on you real quick. Pull out his x-ray, scan. Oh, I see you still got something in you. I see some of me in you. So you authorize me to bother you. As long as I'm in you. Oh. Can you see this? But you don't see nothing wrong with that attitude. That quick temper.
Yes.
You easily get upset. You don't see nothing wrong with that. You authorize him. You authorize his attack. But when you stay in Jesus, abide means to remain.
Yes.
And my words remain in you.
Yes.
What he authorized you to do. Read the rest. This is the good part. What do you authorize you to do?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead, Rick.
If a man abide not in me, we already read that. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall what?
You shall ask what you will.
You shall what?
Ask what you will.
You shall what?
Ask what you will.
What you will. What ye will. What ye will. No. Not like will, like will you come over? Not W-I-L-L. Will as that part of your soul. The mind, the will, and the emotion. What he's saying is, when you stay in me, and my words get in you, my words become your will, so whatever your will asks is my word.
Amen. Yes.
You didn't get that, did you? You didn't get that, did you? Say it one more time? I need to say it one more time. He said, when you abide in me, my words abide in you, my words become your will, so when your will acts something, it acts my word.
Yes.
And I like the part where it says, it might be done.
Sure.
Shall be done.
Huh?
Shall be done.
Shall be done what?
Unto you.
For. In my column, in the middle of my Bible, the word unto means for you. Not done. See, if it's done unto you, you still in control. But it's done for you, you have to relinquish your. Can anybody see this other than me? Jesus says to all of us present today, and even those that are not present, he said, all authority in the heavens. So wait a minute. That means I can control the heaven. Y'all don't believe that? Do you believe you can control the heaven? Then why are you not controlling it? Why are you letting this spirit, or this realm, or this culture, or this system tell Sean what he can and can't have? You know why? Jesus, if any man will save his life, he will lose it. If any man will lose his life, for my sake, he will find it.
That's right.
As long as your life is connected to the system, you can't buck it.
That's so true.
How can you fight your hand when it's connected to your arm? I look kind of crazy when I punch my arm. Get off me, hand, but it's connected to my arm. Hand, stop touching that stuff. Stop doing that, but it's connected to my arm. So wait a minute now. If I don't want my hand to be doing nothing that ain't got no business, Jesus said I'm supposed to cut it off. You know, you literally go get a knife and cut your hand off. That's not what he meant. He meant cut off that place in your mind to keep your hand on that.
Yes.
I thank God for the Holy Ghost. He don't mean get a knife and literally cut your arm off. He means cut that place. Stop giving that place access and stop using your hand. He said, your eye, I'll finish you. Plug it out. He don't mean you get a fork and plug out your eyeball. That ain't what he meant. He means that place in your mind that's controlling your eyes. See how your Bible is because you can't keep your eyes on your life. You got your eyes going everywhere else but on the one you love. Won't walk by your eyes. Your body still going, your eyes going like, what you do that for? I saw you looking at her. Now you're fighting all the way to the house. Oh, y'all just sit right there for a few minutes. I've been there and done that. So I ain't ashamed to say it. As long as I kept granting access, it kept using the access I granted. Jesus said, all authority has been given to me in heaven and in the earth. Y'all gotta get this. But we know Jesus physically is sitting at the throne on the right hand. Jesus spiritually is inside the ring. But wait a minute. He said in earth and in heaven.
Yes.
In earth and in heaven. Wait. Not only do he controls the earth as the spirit in the realm, but you earth too. So if he came inside you and he ain't got all authority, he can't help you. So you gotta day by day relinquish your will to his will by obeying his word.
My Lord.
Math only intellectually enhance you, but it can't transform you. It makes you smart, but you still mean. You're the smartest mean person somebody will ever meet. Reading makes you intellectual enhanced, but you can still be mean. Reading does not change your nature. Math doesn't change your nature. If you're a fighter, you can know math and still fight. You can't know the word and still fight. The Bible is the only book on the planet that is 100% God as God is 100% it. There's no separating the two. So the system, which is owned by the devil, says to read, don't read it. It's boring. You don't understand what it's saying. God never told you to understand it. He just told you to read it. Because once it get in you, he'll give you the understanding. Yes. He can't give you understanding of something that ain't in you.
Come on now. Amen.
Oh, you see right there.
Yes, Lord.
If I were to read the Bible just because I understood it, then I must be smarter than God. And I've been saved 20-something years. And I still read stuff in the Bible I don't understand. But guess what? By and by, he'll give me the revelation.
Yes.
Just because I was willing to read it. If I was waiting to understand it, I would never read it.
Well, that's true.
Like me and my wife was reading something today. I don't understand it. But guess what? I done prayed about it. So the understanding gonna show up. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but it's gonna show up. Because I could not understand. How could Adam tell God he was afraid because he was naked? When the scripture said he made him a suit. The scripture above said he sewed fig leaves together and made him an apron. But he told God he hid because he was naked. Well, brother, you're not naked anymore. You got on clothes. And notice something. He said, I heard your voice.
Oh.
I didn't see you. I just heard you coming.
Come on now, that's something deep. Too big content.
I kept reading. I've been reading that since I got saved, 22 years. When I read it today, I was like, nah, I said, it jumped off the page and I said, oh my goodness, what is he saying right here? Now I gotta wait for the revelator to give me the revelation of what he's saying.
That's it.
You don't read the Bible because you want to understand it. You read the Bible because you want to obey it. Ooh. And when you obey it, you understand it.
Yes.
If you only read it for understanding, you never obey it.
Say it one more time.
Yes.
Well, that's a whole revelation. Yes. I'm so glad you're recording that. You don't read the Bible to understand it. You read it to obey it. And when you obey it, you understand it.
Oh my God.
God told Abram, who's Abram, I mean, he's lost like me and you. So Abram represents a Gentile, someone disconnected from God. And once he got connected to God, he changed his name to Abraham. That's right. But he gave him a word. He did not understand it. He said, go to a land that you will later inherit as your own. Now, wait a minute now. That's all you tell me to leave my people? But God showed me this and showed me I need you to move to Africa. You don't understand that, do you? And you're going to wrestle with it for a while. Because the first thing you understand is you're going to look in your pocket. Man, I'm going to get to Africa. I ain't got no money. God wasn't ask you about the money. He told you to move to Africa. Now, y'all got to get this. I need your mind to come up on my mind. God didn't ask you about the money. He told you to obey him. See, when you purpose in your heart to obey him, God will send somebody to your door with the money to get you to Africa. You know the Holy Ghost said, see, you pray but you won't obey, and then you wait for an answer that will never show up because you didn't obey the prayer you prayed.
Amen.
Oh, think of what the Holy Ghost just said. You know what the Holy Ghost just said? Prayer works for the person you're praying for, and it also works for you. Because you can't pray for somebody else to be saved when you're still the devil.
Sure.
You know the Holy Ghost just said? Oh my goodness. You know the Holy Ghost said? Because prayer first got to kill you before it can save anybody else. Good God. I want you to fix her, but God said, no, Sean, she don't need fixing you. You don't want to keep getting mad. Oh my goodness. I'm going to leave it alone. No, I ain't going to leave it alone. I'm going to stay out here. I'm going to stay out here. We always want to pray for our partners, but we don't never want to talk about us getting mad because they did it. Lord, I need you to change my wife. And God says, if I change you, I'll change your wife. Because she keeps making you mad, not me. God, I want you to deliver my boss. He said, no, I don't need to deliver your boss. I need to deliver you because he keep bothering you, not me.
It's in the house, too.
Oh, you know how I know? Because when I first got saved, I used to pray for Kimberly. God, I want you to deliver Kimberly. She make me want to knock her out. God, I want you to heal her. I want you to save her. He said, well, Joshua. He said, Joshua. See, when he said Joshua, he mean business. He said, Joshua, I first got to change you before I change her. And then he told me this, mother. He said, can you deliver yourself? I said, no. He said, how can you go deliver her? You get this. Now I'm praying to deliver Kimberly, but I ain't praying to deliver me. What he telling me is, you're praying for the wrong person. I hear y'all. But Pastor, what you tell me, I ain't supposed to pray for my husband? You are supposed to pray for your husband.
That's right.
But you're supposed to obey the prayer that you pray for your husband. You can't get out the closet and act like you. Because you just undid the prayer. See, what he didn't tell me is, when he started changing me, is I couldn't act like me no more. My wife used to say, you go through so much in life. I don't know why I'm out here, but I'm gonna stay out here. You go through so much in life that you get semi disconnected. You're not disconnected, you're semi. It's kind of like an arc. If you deal with electricity, it'll jump a certain gap. If it's close enough, it'll keep jumping. But it's not connected, it just be arcing. We used to take check the points on the old 350s. Yeah. We pull out the top part of the point, we stick a screwdriver in, we turn it over to see if the point fires. It'll be arcing. You can see it jumping from the metal to the screwdriver. See, that's what happens when you're not fully connected. It's arcing you, but it's not sparking you. When it arcs you, that means it just touches you. When it sparks you, it changes you.
That's right. Transformation.
So I'm in this closet, right? And I'm praying, and I'm fasting, and I'm steady crying out for Kimberly. But Kimberly wasn't getting better. She was getting worse. You know why? Because the enemy don't want what you pray for to get better. They want it to get worse first, so you can stop praying. Because he knows two things are happening. God is changing you, and it's going to save them. So if he can stop you from praying, because the first person God going to crucify is you, because he's coming to you first.
That's right.
I'm way out here now.
That's all right.
I'm way out here now. So he says, I'm going to stop you, because I don't want you to get delivered. I'm not worried about them, because I still got them. No, I'm way out here. I'm going to stay right here for a few minutes though. So Jesus said, when your will becomes my word, you can ask what you will. That means you can come in your closet And you ain't got to sit there for 30 minutes before I show up. Because as soon as you get down on your knees, I'll come to you. My wife would say things to me like, you shouldn't have no problem talking to God because he'll just show up to you as soon as you start talking. I never paid no attention to that because on the outside, looking in, you see things on the inside people don't see.
Come on.
So I laid on the floor back the other day. I just wanted to see if she was truthful about what she said. So I laid down there, closed my mind, not my eyes. You got to learn to close your mind. Once you close your mind, God can speak to your spirit.
Yes, he will.
So I closed my mind, and guess who showed up? The presence of the Lord. And I just started crying. So I walked out of the room just to see if it was true, brother, and went back and laid back down on the floor. Closed my mind again, and guess who showed up, mother? The presence of the Lord. See, as long as the enemy keep your mind open, frustrated, confused, aggravated, upset, mad, hurt, broken, you can't hear God. His presence can't show up.
That's right.
Oh my God, I'm going to say that again. As long as you keep your mind aggravated, frustrated, confused, upset, and hurt, you can't hear God because his presence can't show up. That's why you can sit in the presence of God and not be delivered. That's why miracles be in this building, you won't get one. Because your mind is so frustrated with what your body been through.
Yes.
That when God reaches out to you, he don't reach out like I do. You hear me in your ears, and then it's translated to your mind. You hear God in your mind, then it's translated to your heart, which is your will, and you obey it. Without those transfers actions, it'll just stop at your ears. It'll just stop at your mind. Whatever is influencing your mind when he show up, he can't bar into it. You got to turn it off. Oh, yeah. He talking to anybody other than me?
Amen.
Every day.
That's the truth. Thank you for the truth.
I love what Jesus says. He said, herein my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciplined ones. Remember, the word discipline is the same word as disciple. Discipline and disciple are the same root words. They're interchangeable. Jesus said, herein is my Father glorified, that you produce much of the word. The word is the fruit of the tree. Like apples is the fruit of the seed. Wow. Wait a minute. Did y'all hear that?
Amen.
Orange is the fruit of the seed. I'm going to back up. Say it again. Orange. The thing you go and buy at Walmart or Winn-Dixie or some fruit stand is the fruit of the seed.
And the seed.
There you go, mother.
I'll have
There you go. That's what you wait for. See, if you don't keep your mind, see, you got to keep your mind up there. You can't let it drop out and then try to pick it back up. You got to, once he pull you up there, once he pull your mind up there, you got to keep it up there.
Amen.
Did y'all hear that revelation?
Yeah.
That's a whole revelation. He says the apple is the fruit of the seed. Here is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit, not seeds. John chapter 8 says, the parable is this. The seed is the word, W-O-R-D of God, not words. I mean, from Genesis to Revelation, the whole book.
Oh, good.
Wow. But wait a minute. So, patience is the fruit of the seed. Long suffering is the fruit of the seed. But if there's no seed, there's no fruit.
Amen.
You can't get an apple without the seed.
Amen.
The apple didn't come first. Sorry, the seed did.
Amen.
Amen.
And they used to ask the question, which one came first, the chicken or the egg? But in this case, the chicken came first. Because the chicken had to lay the egg.
So did. You wouldn't got an egg without you.
Amen.
So, Pastor, what are you saying to us tonight? I'm saying that whatever fruit is coming out of your life, there's a seed there. If you know anything about farming, we used to do a thing called engraftment. Engraftment means, when I was young, I didn't understand it. We used to work on a farm, so we had a lot of pecan trees. And what my daddy's boss man used to do is hire us to engraft limbs into the pecan tree. So what he would do, he would buy a live limb. They come from the store, they don't have them anymore. This was back in the 70s and the 80s. And he would cut off the dead part of the limb to the living part. Then he would split open the living part of the limb, infuse a live stem of pecan tree into the rim, wrap it with some duct tape, put some aluminum foil on it. And guess what that tree did? The tree gave life to the stem, and the stem became part of the tree, and you couldn't tell the difference. Wait a minute. That's what God did to you. See, your life was rotten. He cut it off to the good part. Then he infused himself into that good part and sealed it up. The Holy Ghost is the seal. Now, mind you, the stem wasn't part of the tree until the tree accepted it. Wow. Did not Christ accept you? So you're part of the tree now. So whatever is in the root is in the seed, is in the fruit. Wow. So without the root, the seed, and the fruit, you're not connected. See, that's how the world knows the difference between us and them. Because their root and their seed is connected to a whole other world. Our root, our seed is connected to the Word. And the Word is connected to a kingdom. And the kingdom is connected to a king. And the king reigns. So he reigns from his place on high, down through the kingdom, and to the Word, and to you. So whatever's in the king is in the kingdom, and the Word, and in you. So wait a minute. What defeats God? What can bring down God? Just let your mind run for a little while. And if you could come back with something that can bring down God, I'll take this off and let you have it. Then why are you letting a kingdom that has no power tell you what kind of life you can live in a world that has no power? Amen. Because the fruit is the seed. The fruit is the seed, is the life of the seed. Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Whatever's in the kingdom of God is in you. But what happened is the engraftation hasn't taken over yet because you're fighting it. You watch kudzu vines? You know what kudzu vines is? Y'all know what that is? Y'all got a lot of them in Florida. We got them out there.
What vine?
Kudzu. It's called kudzu. It's a vine. It's a green one. You pass them all the time. They come from the Everglades. But if you walk out, whatever kudzu attach itself to, it consumes it. Listen to this. This is how powerful it is. The Lord gave this revelation to me when I was on the farm. He said, I want to show you something. He said, look at that kudzu vine right there. When it first started, it was a big old tree. I mean, a big old tree. The kudzu vine was just on the root. He said, I want you to watch it all summer. He said, by the end of the summer, the kudzu vine going to take on every part of that tree. Any exposed surfaces, it attaches itself to.
Yes, it does.
To the very leaf of the tree. And the tree becomes the vine. Now wait a minute. Jesus said, he is the vine, and you are the branches. That means he ain't covered you up yet. There's still some of you exposed. That's why they can get next to you. Because once the tree is covered in kudzu, you don't see the tree anymore. All you see is the vine. Didn't your Bible just say that Jesus was the vine, didn't you? And you are the branches? He said, I'm supposed to cover you. I'm supposed to take full control over you. Every exposed part of your life, I'm supposed to cover. So the attitude, I'm supposed to cover. The selfishness, I'm supposed to cover. The lack of patience you have, I'm supposed to cover. The lack of love, I'm supposed to cover. Yes. Now see this? He's supposed to cover it up till all they see is me. But whatever seed you have, it's the fruit you bear. The fruit is the product of the seed. The seed is not the product of the fruit. So if the word of God abides in me, then I can ask what I will. Not what I will, as in I being selfish, but my will has become his will. So what is he going to pray for? Is he going to pray for a house? Nah, I don't think so. But why pray for a house when Jesus said, my Father knows what you need before you have it? Before you even have it, before you even get in your closet, ask about that bill. He already know you need it. He just wants you to obey him. Pastor, you just don't know how hard it is to obey God. Really? It's not that hard. It's the same will you use to work in the heat. Because you think about you got to eat. So you ignore the heat to the fact that it don't even exist no more. But the heat didn't go nowhere. It's still there.
Still there.
Guess what? You only feel hot when you start thinking about it again.
Amen.
And y'all beg to differ with you. You said, Pastor, that ain't true, because you be sweating. And let me tell you something. Even when you're sweating, you could cut your mind off from the heat. That you would not feel it. Let me help you out with that. It would not be frustrating your thoughts. It's good there, bless you. That means you'll be able to think on God wholeheartedly, and he'll show up even while you sweat. Wait a minute, that's just heat though. What little things frustrate your thoughts that you can't even get back on God? You're going to spend 3 days on something that you can't even change.
You ain't got no control. I said, don't have no control over it. Change it.
This happening?
Amen.
I like this part. Verse 10. Verse 9. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. Well, how am I going to do that? I'll obey it. The word. If you keep my commandments, you shall what? Wow. He said, continue ye in my love, and then he'll tell you how to do it. Even as I have kept who? And did what? These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, even as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if you do whatsoever I command you. Wow. Seems to keep going back to obedience for some reason, don't it? Henceforth I call you not a servant, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Ye have not chosen me, but what?
I have chosen you.
And did what? That you should what?
Go forth and bear fruit.
And what?
That your fruit should remain.
That what?
Amen. That will be.
Give thanks.
Jesus said, when the seed becomes fruit, the fruit authorizes you to ask whatever you want. Now, that seems pretty broad, don't it, Samaria? But when you look at reality, it don't look like it works that way, do it, Brother Sherman? Reality tells us something different, doesn't it? Reality tells us that, that sounds good on paper, but look at your life. Look at what your life is going through. Now, that pastor here up there, he been saved 22 years, and you just got saved last week. He trying to tell you that his 22-year life is supposed to work. But your 1 year life or 3 week life in Christ is supposed to work like his 22-year life, and he done been through all that stuff you're going through. No, it's the same Christ, it's the same seed, it's the same fruit. Christ doesn't change because I've been in church for 22 years. It doesn't matter. Jesus gave a parable to prove it to you. Jesus said, a master went out to hire servants. He agreed with the first servant to pay a penny. You remember the parable? A penny. Right? So he says, he sent the servants out and hired some more people. So they started in the morning, and everyone that was spoken to was agreed to a penny. So the first one started out, They all agreed to this penny, right? So at noon, he went out and got some more people who agreed to the same penny. Then by the end of the day, he went and got some more people who agreed to the same penny. Now the people did the less work, got the same pay as the person that's been there all day long. If you read the parable, it says the person that's been there all day long got mad. Because he said, why should they receive the wages of work they didn't do? I've been here all day long. And the parable says, did not we agree to a penny? And the man said, yes. He said, okay. All the rest of them did too. It doesn't matter if they started in the morning. They came when the day was almost over. They all agreed to a penny. So I've been fair. What he's telling you is, it don't matter how long you've been saved. I'm God when you get in the morning, when you get in the noon, or you've been saved 50, you saved 2 days, 100 days, 1,200 days. It don't matter. He said, I'm still God. Whatever you come in at, I'm going to be God to you just like them that live here forever. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
So 22 years ain't got nothing to do with what God will do for you, Sean. He'll do for you today. What took me 22 years to get to it, he'll give it to you in 3-4 days.
That's right. That's right.
It's just where your mind is.
See, you don't have to go through all that I went through to get it. Because I went through it
For you.
so you can get it.
Come on,
Without going through it. If you're following instructions that he gave me while I was going through it, that he gave me to give to you, you won't have to go through what I went through because he done already had somebody to pay for it.
Ooh, Jesus.
Do anybody have to nail you to the cross? Why? Because somebody already paid for that.
Jesus already.
Do they have to pluck your beard off? No. They already did that to Jesus. They're going to thrust a crown of thorns through your skull? No, because they did it to Jesus. They're going to beat you till you're unrecognizable? No, because they did it to Jesus.
Woo.
So wait a minute. If something's already paid for, why do you got to pay for it?
Amen.
The reason you keep paying for something is because you don't know it's free.
Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord.
I like the pure talk.
Praise him up. Thank you. Yes, Lord. You don't know.
See,
My people perish from lack of knowledge. Don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
when the Holy Ghost prompts me to say, you got to bring your mind up, he ain't picking on you. Because if you don't bring your mind up, you're going to miss what he says. Let me help you out with that. Jesus says, let him that hath an ear. Everybody have ears. Hear what the Spirit
That's it.
says to the church.
Go ahead, Grandma. That's it.
Not what the pastor said.
Yes.
What the Spirit is saying. But wait a minute. Your ears are controlled by your mind. That's why you can sit in church and miss everything God said. And when you go to somebody else and they say, well, how was service? I'm going to tell you that you was not here. Because the first thing out of your mind is, it was good. I ain't never ate no food. I couldn't explain to nobody how it tasted. I'm not that distracted that I'll sit at your table and eat your food and not pay attention to it. But why do you come to the table of God, and when he feeds you, your mind out the door? Your mind's still at home. Wait a minute. If you could change the problem, then why didn't you change it while you was at home? If you couldn't change it while you was at home, why are you going to let it follow you to church to keep you from getting changed?
All right. Hallelujah. Wow. Wow. Jesus. Oh, man.
Some of the things the Lord showed me I want to bring out to you. I think I started out the gate on Sunday and I was way up there. But I think I was way up there. And it won't do me no good to be way up there and be way down here. Because I'll be shooting over your head. You notice you got to keep bringing it down. Bringing it down. You got to come to church with your mind already set on God. So when the Spirit starts speaking, he can speak directly into you. You don't have to fight through all that stuff that's got you disheartened, and he just goes straight into you and bring change. you, but that won't make it clean. You got to add something to that water. That's kind of what the word is. See, I'm pouring water on you by the Holy Ghost. The Bible said the word was considered underwater. By the washing of the water by the word.
Jesus.
By the washing of the water by the word.
Hallelujah.
So the word is like water. It washes you.
Hallelujah.
But guess what? If you don't add obedience to it, you won't be clean. How can a young man cleanse his way? W-A-Y? Not ways, way. By taking heed thereto according to the word. Not shouting, speaking in tongues.
Come on.
Not finding your gift in the church. I'm sad that the church has messed people up so bad that they want you to pursue gifts, or you need to find your gift in the church, or what you like doing. Well, first thing I want to learn how to do is serve Christ. I think that's the first thing I need to learn how to do. I need to learn how to be submissive to my wife. I need to learn how to be the husband of one wife. I need to learn how to be a good co-worker. I still get mad at my boss, and I've been there 10 years, and I'm like, when you tell me to do stuff, I really want to just go snap the wall for him, but I don't even know how I ain't got that under control yet. I don't need to be in church trying to do nothing.
Come on, Jesus.
But then when Christ teaches who you are, you got to bring your mind up so you can take it home with you. And you can stop treating the devil like he God.
Jesus.
You got more God than the devil do. You are the only creation in the whole Bible that God created in his likeness. And Satan, who was Lucifer, was the highest ranking angel in God's order. He's a shepherd. He's set above God's throne. But he'll never know what it's like to have God live inside of him. Only you and I can experience that. So why do you let him tell you what God can give you, and what God can't give you, what God will give you, and what God won't give you? When you have God in you, we are the only creation, y'all. Are y'all listening to me? Man is the only creation in this planet that can be on the dirt and in heaven at the same time. You could be at your job, working whatever your job is, riding in the mail truck, delivering mail, and in your mind be in heaven praising God. Smiling, clapping your hand, folks think something wrong with you. You're the only person that can leave earth while still in earth, but never have to leave earth to leave it. But you can leave it. This is what we got inside of us.
Yes.
That I can lay on the floor. You got to get this. That I can lay on the floor, close my mind, and the kingdom comes to me. I don't have to physically die to go to it. When I closed my mind, it came to me, brother.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord.
Good God, man, I felt
Yes.
that. It'll come to you. It'll show up where you at. It's so powerful, you can be shopping at Walmart, fall out speaking tongue. Folks think something wrong with you. I mean, the kingdom came to the Walmart. No, the Holy Ghost said, there's no boundaries for the kingdom just for you. The kingdom can go anywhere. Pastor, I heard what you said. It was lovely. It was great. But how do I do this? Matthew chapter 16 says, if any man is to follow me, let him first deny himself. You got to make up in your mind not to be you anymore. And no matter how much the world and Satan attacks you, because they're going to attack you, you got to continue not being you. Because you know the truth is, they're not attacking who you are. They're attacking who you were. Satan ain't fighting who you are because he can't fight Christ. But he can fight who Sean was. That's why he always tell you about what you used to do. Don't he? He can't tell you something you hadn't done, though, can he? He can only accuse you of what you've already done. So wait a minute. If you don't do nothing new, what are you going to use against you? Wow. Right? Right? If you don't do nothing new, he ain't got nothing to use against me. But guess what? You can't do nothing new without God. So if you do something, it's going to be something you already done. Because according to Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. What's being done has already been done. We just found a new way to do it. What you saying to us, Pastor? What he's saying to you is, the authority is not in the devil. It is in you. He is not equal to God. He is created. You're the only creature that God made was created in his image. Not the devil, not the angels, no demon. None of them was created in God's image. We were. Satan's greatest power is ignorance. Because he don't want you to know the truth. So Jesus said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Free from what? That old mindset. The old mindset says you can't enjoy peace but on Wednesday and Sunday. The new mind says you can have peace 365 days a year, 324 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what the new mind says. The old mind says you got to wait till you get to the pastor and get to do it. The new mind says lay hands on yourself and get to do it. The old mind says you got to get somebody else to pray for you. The new mind says you can pray for yourself.
That's right.
The old mind says you can already be broke, busted, and disgusted. The new mind says, my God will supply all my needs according to the word by Christ Jesus. Anybody listen to me? So the old mind says you're going to always be stuck in this place. But the new mind says I've already paid for you. The old mind says you can't be a man. But the new mind says yes, you can. The old mind says your life won't work. But the new mind says yes, it will. I know. I used to be you. I ain't saying that just to have words to say. Literally, I used to be you. Depressed, fearful, low self-esteem, anxiety, scared to go out the door. Grown man, scared to go out the door. Why? Because my old mindset kept telling me, you're not free. You're not delivered. But when I start resisting it, when I start cutting off its access, when I start denying its request. No, it ain't going to go away the first time you do it, Rick. You got to be consistent in it. You can't do it on Sunday only. You got to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got to do it all the time. Because it ain't going to go away just because you did it one time. You could do it one time and feel good. But it ain't going away until you consistently, persistently keep doing it. Jesus said, abide in me, and my words abide means to remain, to be firm, to be committed, unmovable. Can you imagine that?
That's what you
And that's something. Beautiful. Isn't that something? So I want to encourage you, brothers and sisters, mothers, to know that Satan is not equal to God. You are more equal to God than he is, because you were created in his image. He is a created being. So if the creator lives inside the creation, how can the other creation override the creator that's inside the creation? Because we are the creation with the creator inside. Because Jesus said, if any man have my commandments and keep them, me and my Father. He didn't say nothing about the Holy Ghost. He said, me and my Father will come into them and make our own. That's something sweet. That God that owns the universe, to keep the sun from colliding with the moon, to keep the moon from colliding with Earth, and Earth from running into Venus, and Mars from running into whatever planet, Jupiter, to keep Venus and all these other planets in alignment. They never clash, they never hit each other. And they rotate in a perfect alignment. He inside you, Sean.
Thank you, Lord.
He inside you, Samaria. He in you. But guess what? He can't get out with your help. The problem ain't getting in you. The problem is getting out of you. It's easier for God to get in, Brother Jackson. But it's much harder for God to get out of him. Because Brother Jackson got to die for him to get out.
Oh, good God.
God ain't got no problem with getting in you. You just have a problem with getting out. I can't tell you how to get oil out of olives, and I love olives. I eat them out of the jar. I love them. Look like to me, if you squeeze it, you crush it, there won't be nothing left. When you eat it, you don't see no oil in it, do you? You don't even taste the oil. But somebody figured out how to apply the right amount of pressure to the olive to squeeze out the oil without destroying the house. Wow. Did you hear that? God knows the right amount of pressure to put on you to squeeze out his oil without destroying the house.
Jesus.
God. Oh, no. Woo! Good God Almighty. Don't it? It seems like the house is being destroyed, but oil comes out. Oil represents life. He knows what to put on you. It seems like you are dying. You are to you.
Jesus.
But you should be resurrected to Christ.
Thank you, Lord.
So he put the right amount of pressure on us, Sister Jackson, without destroying the house, so the oil could come out. Now you know, it has to be some sure thinking to build a machine to squeeze an olive with the right amount of pressure to get the oil out. We're the olive. God used the right amount of people. He used the right amount of stuff. He can use one person. He can use multiple people. He can use life itself. Notice it. No matter how hard it squeezes you, it can't kill you. Kill you. And no matter how much it want to take your mind, it got to leave you with it. No. Hallelujah. Know that Satan is not God's equal. Don't walk away from him thinking that no more. You are more equal with God than Satan is, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28. He said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness. Let him have dominion. Remember, Adam sold it to the devil, like Esau sold his birthright. Jesus bought it back and gave it to you.
Yes, he did.
Really, all he did was give back to you what you're supposed to get from Adam. Since Adam failed, he couldn't give it to you. Everybody came out of Adam should have came out what Jesus gave back to you. That is the order of God. That ain't like he gave you something to do. He just gave back to you what's rightfully yours. This peace, this joy, this love, this authority, this dominion, it's rightfully yours. Every seed that comes out of a woman's womb was supposed to come out what God gave Adam. But Adam sold it to the devil. Now our minds have been programmed to a system. The devil started because Adam sold him the rights to the earth. And then Jesus came back and took him back and said, here, I'm going to give him back to the rightful owner. Here, brother. This belongs to you. That mind we have adapted to the culture and the environment we grew up in. It fights us because it's been in control so long. It doesn't want to lose its grip now. And all God do to us every time we come is tell us who we are and who you should be. Satan is not equal with God, right? You got more equal with God than he do. He is a created being. But you can't fight him with reason. You can fight him with God. Because you're not authorized without God. That's why Jesus said, it been given to me. And I'm the only one to give it to you. So be encouraged. Still excited? Give the Lord some praise. Hallelujah. We thank you for coming. You know, we bless God for everyone being here today. Good to see Sister Mary's mother again.